Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Pinkus, and thank you for joining me. I'd like to talk for a few minutes about calcium and why this is important for your body and why you should take my CalMax formula. Now, several months ago, the Surgeon General came out with a report, and he said that by the year 2020, 1 out of every 2 Americans are going to have osteoporosis. 1 out of every 2. That means you, someone you love, someone you care about, it could be anyone that's close to you, will have osteoporosis, which is called the silent killer. Now, the reason it's a silent killer is that your bones are crumbling from the inside out, and you wouldn't necessarily know it unless you fell off a curb or twisted your ankle or did something where your bones snap almost instantly. So it's very important to get calcium in the body. And if you look at all the vitamins and supplements that people take in this country, calcium is definitely in the top 10. It's maybe in the top 5 supplements. I think multivitamins number 1 and vitamin C is number 2. Calcium's right in there. So people are taking their calcium, they're doing their calcium yogurts, their calcium orange juices, their calcium fortified cereals, but we're still having a problem where there's a lack of calcium in the body. So what's going on? Well, I want to talk about my CalMax formula. Now, I've been using CalMax since my early career in the clinic in the early 1980s. And I used it extensively with my patients, with myself, with my family, and everyone loved it. Everyone loved this formula. And then you've probably seen me on TV, heard me on the radio, on the internet, you've seen me in a live seminar. I've been talking about CalMax for a long, long time. So why is it so good? Why is it different? Well, to begin with, CalMax is a powdered vitamin. And what's important about that? Well, as you can see, this is a pure powder. There's nothing artificial, nothing bad in it. It's basically pure calcium, magnesium, there's some vitamin C, and there's lemon in it. Now, I'm going to talk about lemon in just a minute. But it's very important to get calcium in your body. And why is it? Well, the first thing you're going to tell me is that, Dr. Pinkus, I need to build up my bones. And that's a good answer. That's a good answer. But it's not the first answer. Because basically your body runs on calcium. It runs on a very, very low amount. In fact, of all the calcium in your body, 98, 99% of it, of the calcium, is in your bones and your teeth. 1% or 2% circulates in your blood. Now, why is it important to be in the blood? Well, calcium runs your heart, it runs your nervous system, it runs your muscles, and many other vital organs in your body. So when your body senses that the calcium, that 1% that's floating around in your blood, is starting to get smaller, like below 1%, it says, well, I don't care where I get it from, I just need to have more calcium. So it starts robbing it from your bones. And this happens over time, and that's what we call osteoporosis. And osteoporosis, like I said, is a silent killer. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Dr. Pinkus, I take a calcium supplement, I got a multivitamin, I'm drinking milk, I'm eating yogurt, I've got the breakfast cereals, it's even in my orange juice, and why should I be taking your CalMax formula? Well, let me show you something. This right here is a copy of an x-ray of a person who took their calcium tablets. You can see over here that the calcium tablets are undigested in their intestine. There's some on this side over here, and there's some on this side as well. So this person took their calcium, and guess where it's going to end up? It's not going to end up in their bones. It's going to be, well, that's for another video. It's basically comes out whole, undigested. And honestly, I've talked to people who clean sewers, with those big trucks. They clean sewers for a living, and they said, Dr. Pinkus, you're right. There's tons of undigested minerals, calcium pills, at the bottom of these sewers. So that's what happens. And you see, calcium is a rock. And I'm going to show you what makes my CalMax different. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make some for you. What you do is you take the can of CalMax, you take a teaspoon of the formula, put it in a coffee cup. Now, I'm using a thermal insulated glass. You can put hot water in here just to show you, just to demonstrate. But basically what you do is you take hot water, and I want you to listen and watch carefully when I pour the water in the CalMax. Watch what happens. Do you see and hear the fizzing? Okay, and notice the color of the water. The color is very chalky. Just like you would if you put some chalky substance in some water, you'd expect it to be like this. Now, I'm not even going to stir it. I'm just going to put it down for a minute. The hot water, the reason that you hear the hissing and the bubbling, the hot water actually creates a chemical reaction to take and activate the CalMax. What we want is we want this calcium and magnesium completely dissolved before it gets in your body. So we're doing all the work on the front end. You see what I'm saying? Now, look what's happening. As we're talking, it's already becoming clearer and clearer. The calcium and magnesium ions, the chemicals, are mixing in the water. And I'm going to set this aside for a minute, and I'm going to show you what happens in just a few seconds. You won't believe it. So it's very, very important to get the calcium back in your body. And the lack of calcium, the lack of magnesium, you'd say, well, I need to build up my body, I need to build up my bones. But I got to tell you something, with the CalMax, you're going to do a lot more than that. Let me give you a couple examples. When you have these calcium, magnesium minerals in your body, your muscles relax. So if you drink CalMax before bed, like about a half hour before bed, you're going to find that your muscles relax a lot better, and everything just starts to go into a very, very relaxed state, and you actually sleep better. Now, you will sleep better. You're shaking your head. No, you honestly will sleep better, because once you get these minerals in your body, that calcium, magnesium relaxes the muscles, and everything just goes into like, I want to go to sleep mode. So, and I've always said, if you don't sleep, your body's not going to heal. The other thing that's going to happen when you get this calcium, the CalMax, in your body through this formula, is you're going to have less pain. That's right, less pain. And why is that? Because your body lacking calcium, magnesium, it starts to tighten up, and you feel that all the time. It also helps your energy. And I've got a million of different functions for magnesium. We talk a lot about calcium, but magnesium is equally, if not more important in the body. Magnesium is involved in over 325 different biochemical reactions in the body. So if you're diabetic, if you have high blood pressure, if you have skin problems, hormonal dysfunctions, the list just goes on and on. You need to get the magnesium and the calcium in the body in the 2-to-1 doctor recommended dose. Now, in my CalMax formula, it has 2 parts calcium, 1 part magnesium, and we don't use the cheap form of calcium. You know what I'm saying by cheap form, where they grind up bones, or they take eggshells and they crush them up? That stuff is like a dime a dozen, and it really doesn't work. The calcium that we use in CalMax is what's called calcium gluconate. Calcium gluconate is the same type of calcium that is used if you have to go to the hospital and get an IV drip, you know, where they're dripping the calcium in. It's the same form of calcium they use. We call it hospital grade. Now, I want to show you what's happened with our CalMax formula. Look at this. It's completely clear, 100% dissolved in the water, so it's ready to go to work. Now, I'm going to try it. It's a little bit hot. I'm just going to tell you. That is a delicious lemon-flavored beverage. Now, you want to let it cool off a little bit more than this because it is quite warm. But another few minutes, it's ready to drink. So you see how easy that is. Now, one other thing I want to show you is that when you get your CalMax home, you're going to see that you're going to open it up. I just opened this container. You see it looks about 3/4 full. Well, that's because we sell the CalMax formula. Our supplier actually packs this by volume, or not by volume, but by weight. And this is a 5-ounce jar. It's 154 grams. So what that means, this is enough for between a 20 and 30-day supply of you taking CalMax every single day. So if you see it settle a little bit, don't worry about it. It's just like having a box of cereal and you open it up and you go, where is it? It's all compressed. So at any rate, I want you to take the Dr. Pinkus challenge, which is this. If you're someone that's hurting, if you've gone to the doctor and they say, hey, you need to be on these bone-building drugs, which aren't good for you, if you're someone who's not sleeping well, you're under a lot of stress, your energy's low, you know, the reasons are just, I can give you reasons all day. Here on YouTube, we don't have all day. But I'd like to have you take the Dr. Pinkus challenge, which is this. Try my CalMax formula. Do it every day for 30 days. And keep a little log, a little mental log or a little diary, and see for yourself what changes. We have been using CalMax publicly. I've been talking about CalMax for the last 20-some years. Millions and millions of bottles of CalMax have been sold all over the world. And I want you to feel better. That's my purpose, is I want you to feel better and to start now. Okay, so for more information, what I'd like you to do is to go to our website, which is Dr. Newton's, like newtonsapple.com. There you will find my whole host of products. I have a number of great products and formulas, including CalMax, as well as other great nutritional formulas. So thank you very much for joining me today. I wish you and your family the best of health and continue doing well. I look forward to hearing from you. This is Dr. Michael Pinkus. Thanks again.